should just film the entire vlog just like this. Be a hell of a workout though. Hey everyone, I hope everybody's having a great week. Hope you're doing well. As this vlog is going up, it will be on my birthday, and on my birthday, it's like I like to do things for other people because that's just how I roll. And if you haven't heard, I'm working on a new book. It's called The Legacy, and I would really love to read the first chapter and kind of get it out there for you guys and get your thoughts, get some feedback. Soon I'll have the first 2 chapters up on my website to be read, but for now I'd really love to read the first chapter to you guys. So here's the first chapter of The Legacy. I hope you really enjoy it. Chapter 1. Find myself trapped. I had been on this highway for less than 5 minutes. Boxed in the middle of a 3-lane highway. Inevitably, this trip, which I wasn't too thrilled to be doing, started out the only way I suppose that I knew how, with a setback. I leave Jay with the responsibility of organizing my notes and returning them to the Galileo Mental Hospital. I could hear my father's written words clearly in my mind, ringing with obsessive purpose. Despite my father's lack of presence, both physical and mental, I longed for a sense of commonality with the man, for him to know what I'd been trying to tell him over the years. Obnoxious blares of horns from behind my vehicle snapped me out of my lingering memory. Their impatience to get going fueled my desire to be back at home, to toss all those old files into a few boxes and set them aflame. Traffic continued crawling at 5 miles per hour, the source of the inconvenience finally coming into view. Several officers wearing neon vests stood in a diagonal line, directing the far 2 left lanes into a single right lane. Finding a place between a semi and elderly woman driving a Bronco, I looked curiously past the uniforms as we crept by. 5 police cruisers and 2 state patrol vehicles surrounded an overturned white bus, a prisoner transport, with barred-in windows and glossy white paint on the bus's shell. 6 individuals in orange jumpsuits chained together by the feet stood against the concrete collision wall that separated the west from the north highway, each with their own crime story to tell based off their unique hairstyles and gritty tattoos. A 7th stood separate from the others, constrained by larger, more elaborate restraints. His legs were bound by a 12-inch chain that left little wiggle room to properly walk, linking the thick restraints around his wrists, hugging snugly around his muted gray jumpsuit. An additional chain from the arm restraints went up to his chest and towards his neck. Long gray hair hung over his face like a filthy mop, barely leaving enough visibility to see the metal collar around his neck. Taller than the other 6, standing close to 6'6", a slender body like a professional runner, unlike the others whose arms were practically ripping out of their sleeves. Behind the veil of hair, his head moved slightly, observing the cars passing by, not at all interested in the 4 large guards watching over him. Passing the wreck, I couldn't help sneaking a glance. Something about this man gave me a vibe of fear. I just couldn't look away. His obscure eye line moved right to me, holding its menace like a tractor beam. Snapping my head forward, forcing my eye back to the road, the vehicles ahead of me, I sped up, releasing the tense air in my lungs. The hair on the back of my neck kept me well informed that I was likely being watched until the accident was completely out of view. Reconnecting with my father was off to a great start. So fun fact about that opening chapter, that's actually based off a real event. So the craziest thing happened when I went up to Thunder Ridge Cabins for the first time and I started working on The Legacy. I hadn't written a word of it, I just had the basic idea, and I didn't know how to open it. I didn't know whether to start out at the cabin, and I'd been on the highway for no more than 5 minutes, and there's this traffic jam, and I'm like, great, that's just my luck. And we sit there for a good 30 minutes without moving, and another 10 minutes goes by and we start slowly crawling, and it turns out there's this prison bus that is turned over on its side. And just like in the opening chapter, there are people lined up against the middle concrete walls. And you know, they're all chained together and stuff like that, and they're all wearing their prison jumpsuits, and there are cop cars pretty much everywhere surrounding the entire thing. And the only difference is there's not that creepy guy with the long hair watching me as I go by. So that was the inspiration for the opening chapter of The Legacy. And it's just funny how things work out sometimes. It's funny how inspiration just happens randomly. The universe is a weird, weird place. I hope you enjoyed the read through. Thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it. Please comment below, let me know what you thought. I'll see you next time. Bye.